Sup guys, it's Omar here from Campaign, shouting at you. Welcome to my new channel.
No. That's not this.
What? This isn't my new YouTube channel?
No. This is Campaign.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. Hi, I'm Omar Oakes from Campaign Magazine, and this is the year ahead in tech. It's the year 2020, so what does the future hold in terms of technology for advertising and marketing? We're going to be talking to some industry experts to help us find out. This week, we're going to look at social media, the role of influencers. What should marketers be thinking about? Performance, brand building, how best to use social, and TikTok. I sat down with Mobbie Nazir, the Chief Strategy Officer at We Are Social, to find out more. I suppose I should ask you that question first of all. What do you see generally for the year ahead? What are we going to see?
Wow, that's quite a big question. Broadly, the industry is still a very exciting and interesting place. I think as we've been seeing for the last decade or so, marketing is continuously changing. So brands are going to continue to have to be on their toes in terms of what's happening in this space. So how are consumers changing their attitudes and behaviours? New platforms appearing, new ways of engaging with brands. I don't know, it's just, I think, a very exciting and interesting space to be in still.
This time next year, if we're sitting again in 2021, what we would say, wow, 2020, that was the year that happened?
Well, one of the big debates and discussions that's going on in the industry at the moment is around how do you measure? You know, last year we saw a number of high-profile brands come out and say that they felt like they'd overinvested in digital from a performance perspective. And, you know, I can understand how that's happened. It's easier to measure digital performance from a sales and conversion point of view than it is from a brand perspective. And so as an industry, we've probably been a little bit guilty of measuring the easy stuff.
Do you mean like a click-through rate,
yes.
Email open rate, things like that?
Yeah. Even views, counts, likes, all of those sorts of things. Because it's easier to measure, that's what we've measured. And then what we've sort of started to believe is that's the only thing that digital does, and that actually that's the best thing that digital is for performance marketing.
A lot of marketers have tended to look at social media as a way to build performance, to get immediate results. However, Mobbie thinks there may have been too much performance for performance sake. So, could 2020 be the year that brand building makes a return to social media?
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe a little bit more bravery in that space and willingness to take a few more risks. Willingness to try and experiment more in that space, but also more investment in that space, which means that we can start to measure broader metrics. You know, we're looking at 3 or 4 years worth of data, campaigns over that time period, looking at the impact of social on offline metrics as well as online metrics. And I would like to think that we're not the only ones doing that, you know, there'll be many other people out there doing that as well. And so hopefully by the end of this year, there'll be more of a body of evidence that that's how marketing is evolving, and that's the role that digital and social can play in this space.
And 2019 saw many stories about dodgy behaviour surrounding influencer marketing. It's arguably the area of the market that's in most need of needing to win trust. So what does the future hold in 2020 for influencer marketing?
Well, I still think influencer marketing is a very credible mode for brands to engage in, but I think brands need to be a bit more careful with what they're doing in that space. People are much more interested in the relatability of an influencer versus their popularity. So it's not about the amount of reach that they have, it's really about how relevant are they to me in my life, how relatable are they.
Is that possible to measure? I mean, obviously with followers, likes, those are easy metrics that everyone can see.
Yeah.
But when it comes to relatability, how am I as a marketer, how am I going to assess that?
It is harder, and I think that's one of the things, brands just need to work harder at it. I think you need to get to know the influencers that you're planning to work with. You need to understand how authentic are they and how much do they actually engage their audience. And I do think we're seeing a bit of a blurring between influencers and celebrities. So, you know, influencers, some of them are becoming celebrities. You know, they're on Strictly Come Dancing or whatever it might be. You know, they've got photo shoots in Hello magazine. And celebrities are becoming influencers. So you've got Will Smith turning up in TikTok and he's producing great content. He's behaving like an influencer. So, you know, the lines between those areas are becoming really blurred. And I think that's quite an interesting space for us to keep an eye on as brands. That, you know, are you really looking for talent and celebrity, or are we actually genuinely looking for an influencer? TikTok's quite an interesting platform at the moment because anyone can set themselves up on there and become famous overnight almost. And it's I think, creating a bit more democracy in the influencer landscape. So genuinely, you can now become famous if you want to overnight, which you used to be able to do on some of the other platforms many years ago, but it's become harder.
In case you've not heard of TikTok, it's a rapidly growing short-form video content owned by Chinese company ByteDance. Young people are getting harder to reach because they're not on traditional media channels as they used to be, such as TV, radio. Very popular last year, one of the most downloaded apps on smartphones. But will its insane popularity continue to increase this year?
It's interesting. I think in the past, brands have been a lot more gung-ho about these sorts of things, you know, new opportunities, new platforms. But maybe they've learned from past experiences that you need to be a bit more careful before you sort of, you know, strike out in a new space. You need to really believe that it's the right space for you, you've got all the backing that you need to be in that space, and that it's not just a short-term one-off hit.
Thanks for your time, Mobbie. That was really interesting, and hopefully we can do this in a year's time and see if any of our predictions are true.
Great, no problem. Thanks very much.
So those were just some of the big issues for social media in 2020. If you want to find out more, go to campaignlive.co.uk. You want to find out more? Hit me up on my Twitter, on my Instagram. Omar out.
Nice.
Yeah?
That's good.